Okay. All right. We're going to give everybody just a minute. And tonight is going to be a really great experience because what we're going to talk about tonight is number one, we're going to talk about proactive versus reactive and how to develop our proactivity in each segment of our business. And we're also going to talk about, and I'm really excited about this, we're going to talk about the different color seasons and what I am learning about that and how to teach them to people and how it can just essentially really help you in your Mary Kay business. And I will tell you, I've been enjoying this. I've booked a lot of people because of it. I think it's a great tool. I think it's a really great tool. So, before we get started, why don't you just pop on and tell us your name and something that you're excited about? Why don't we start? Oh, Patty, you're on my in like my Brady Bunch way. You're like on my right. So let's go ahead for it. What Patty? What are you excited about this week?
Um, a conversation we had earlier. I've
So
already got a list of things to people to contact.
I love it. I love it. And so
Yeah.
today, Patty did her very first. She did her very first kind of check-in coaching call, that kind of thing. And I always just think that those are such a great experience. So I love that. Love that. All right. Who else? Stacy.
Um, I am working on doing the reach outs um, for um, my current customers and my past customers.
I love that. I love that. Very good. Taylor.
Um, sure. Um, I would say I have two bookings so far this month, so that's what I'm excited about.
As you should be. That's amazing. I love that. Very good. Very good. Awesome. And then Emily, tell us something you're excited about.
I'm Emily, and I had a single facial this weekend that ended up being over 150 bucks. And I
And
loved her. She was
and
so fun to talk to.
you had a good time. You made a connection. I love that. And when you left that appointment, what were your thoughts? Like, what were you thinking?
That I need to learn more about her, and I would love for her to join. Her daughter lives out of a van. Like, she's my spirit animal. If I wasn't tied down.
Yeah, I was gonna say they kind of get stressed out about that when you have kids and do that. So
Yeah.
maybe let's not try that, Emily.
And
I love
what does she
that.
do? She does like sound healing. Is that what she called it?
I've heard
I
of
was like,
that
I've
before.
never heard of that before. That is so cool. She's cool.
I love that.
Excited.
I love that. Joy, tell us something that you're excited about.
I'm working on the stuff we learned on the weekend, the current and past customers, and
I
it's what I was working on. And how
I
to be me.
love that. And I was gonna say if you were on, I know you were on Saturday. Is there anything that you took away from that where you're like, ooh, that's a new thought for me? See.
Me?
Yeah.
Nothing new, stuff I should have known.
Don't shit on yourself,
No,
girl.
that's what it was all common sense.
But you guys, the thing about that, and I think it's so important to understand, is that um, common sense isn't common to some people. And and I know that I've talked about this before, but I remember when I first came into Mary Kay and Jeannie was my sales director, she was brought up in a very proper family with like manners and etiquette and all of this. And that was just not a priority where I was from. And so like I remember one time she was like, Are were you raised in a barn? And I was like, yeah, kind of. Like, and she was like blown away that I didn't know what fork to use and like that you shouldn't pass food around off your plate or whatever. Like, I thought I was being mighty generous. Apparently that was poor form. Like, you guys, we can't assume that people know. So, like, Joy, you're so right. Like, it's common sense. Just not everybody gets raised with common sense. And so, in a lot of the roles that we play as leaders in this life and in this world and in our communities, some of the things that, like, I think it's courtesy to not talk to someone on your cell phone while you're going through a checkout line. Like, to me, that's a no-brainer. But if I'm 15 or 16, the likelihood of me knowing that, like, zilch. I see them do it all the time. So I love that you said that. That is huge. Brandy, what about you? What are you excited about? You're muted, baby. She may not be able to.
Oh,
Oh, there
there,
she.
I got it. Sorry, Isabel was coming in to talk to me, and I was like, you can't talk right now. I am excited because I got a order the other day, and I just had a lady that I used to work with in the past. She asked if I had a website.
I love that. Well done. Well done. And Ash and Shelly and Ange, if you guys want to add yours to the chat, that's totally fine too. If you're not able to pop on tonight, I always
I
love.
can talk.
Oh,
I
okay.
just can't chat because I'm driving.
Okay.
That's
Well,
why
why don't
I'm
you tell us what you're proud of from this week?
so two things. One, I am looking forward to a party I have this coming weekend with it's kind of funny because I met this person at a vendor show probably 6 years ago. We never connected. And over the weekend, before we started on like the love language and like how to reach out to people in that way, I was reaching out to people more in like a way of like, do you want to stay on my contacts? Do you want me to delete you? Like, what are your thoughts right now? Like, basically, I just essentially me saying I'm tired of contacting you. If you're not gonna work with me, I'm gonna take you off my list. But she immediately was like, "Can we get together on the 10th at 10 o'clock in the morning?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" And I kind of at first thought it was kind of a joke because I'm like, okay, I've never met with you. Like, and then she proceeded to tell me that she's got three tween teen daughters and she wants to do skincare with her and her three daughters. And so I was like, well, absolutely. And so I'm excited about that because it's something that like I always talk about or I always think about like you can keep reaching out to people and eventually they're going to tell you to either go away or they're going to book with you. And in this case, they booked.
I love that.
So,
And Ange, I think it's so important because if you really think about it, it reminds us that we can't think that we know what's happening in someone's life. Like,
right,
it probably had nothing to do with you that she wasn't responding. She's just at a point in her life where she can now. So it's so
right,
important that we not take it personally. I love that.
exactly.
And
The
Ash,
other thing that I'm sorry, the other thing I'm excited about is um, learning how to reach out to previous customers and previous team members allowed me to reach out to somebody who I'd been really wanting to like just get on the phone with because she lives in a different time zone. And this allowed me to have an hour and a half phone call with her on Sunday night. And don't get me wrong, we talked about the business because she's made the comment like, I really miss the business. And but it was also nice to just be able to catch up.
I love that. And she is a really special lady, so I'm
I
really
agree.
excited. And Ashley said she's excited because she has a party on Friday and a facial on Thursday. So we're cheering for you, big Ash. And Shelly says she's excited that she remembered to join tonight because Shelly doesn't get much sleep with a newborn. And she also had a friend reach out this past weekend asking if she'd do wedding makeup, which is both exciting and terrifying. And I bet we can help you, Shell. I promise you. I've never lost a patient to wedding makeup. So we're super proud of you. And so, friends, what we're going to start out with tonight, I'm going to kind of give you the option. Do we want to start with the makeup stuff or do we want to start with the how to develop ourselves how to be proactive in one of the segments of our business? Which one do we want to start with? Raise your hand if you want to start with the makeup stuff. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's start with the proactivity stuff. This is good. Okay. So if you remember I hate this little filter thing that's on there, but we made like a quadrant. Okay, we made like a quadrant, so like a cross, and then we labeled the four pieces of it. Okay, and this is our business. Okay, think of it like a business pizza. These are the four pieces. We cut that sucker into quarters. One of them is new customers and team members. One of them is your existing team. One of them is your customer base, and one is new um, new business. Okay, and what I was thinking about with our business is that I think consultants get really, really bent out of shape working with leads that are or working with customers that are not interested in being more than what they are. And so I was like thinking, I think that's when they say that they feel like someone's being pushy with them, when really it's not that you're being pushy at all. It's that she's asked you for information. You've given it to her, and she's either not interested and is not communicative enough to just tell you that. So she's kind of leading you on. And I was thinking about how do we prevent that because I think it takes so much energy away. Okay. And so I also want to think about how to help you be proactive. We're focusing tonight on, I think we're going to start here with your customer base. How do we have a customer base that we're not bugging? And yet one where they know what to expect from you and they don't feel like you're overwatering them. If they were a seed, we want to give them the right amount of water. Because if you give them too much, where you're pouring water all over the same four seeds all day in and day out for 2 weeks, you're going to drown them. But if you don't give them any attention, you're going to lose them because it's going to get dry and they're going to blow away. So, my point is this in our quadrant for your customer base, one of the things that I think helps a lot is to have some systems for customer maintenance. And the reason that we're starting with the customer base tonight is because a lot of consultants won't build a customer base until they feel like they have systems that will take care of it because they don't want anybody to ever feel like they didn't take care of them. Can I get an amen? So let's talk about how do we be proactive with our customer base so that we establish some rhythms and some systems that take care of that base. What are the proactive ways you can work with your customer base? Can anybody think of some? I have a couple, but I want to see what you guys come up with first.
Doing like a 2x2+2+2.
Yes, 2 + 2 + 2. And explain that because we have quite a few new people. Tell us what that means.
So it means that you're reaching out with them 2 days after they've received their product, 2 weeks after they've received their product, and 2 months. So at 2 days, you're following up just to make sure that they got it, they know what they're doing with it, they don't have any questions. Basically just, making sure that they're good with what they got. At 2 weeks, you're following up, just making sure that they're still using it. They haven't had any sort of adverse reactions or that like it was the wrong color or any of that kind of stuff that like they noticed they had a problem, but they didn't tell you because, they didn't think to tell you. And then at 2 months, it's primarily just to make sure like if they're getting low, do they need like a refill without basically calling it a refill.
I love that. So having some systems set up, and there are a couple of ways you can do it. If you use a texting system like the one that I know a lot of you use, it's called Project Broadcast. You can actually set it up so that you can automatically schedule those messages. And so like when customers order product from me, we immediately set up so that they'll receive 2 days later, 2 weeks later, 2 months later. Hey, just checking on you. Did you receive your product okay? Fantastic. Did 2 weeks later, hey, are you doing well? But if you're a person that's newer or you're starting out and you don't have a text service like that, the easiest way I found to do it is that I literally open up my calendar and I put her name at the top of the list, the top of the date, 2 days after she should have her product, 2 weeks after she should have her product, and 2 months after. And so every day there's a list of people that I need to call, and they're just written in here. And I don't have to really think about it much. I know that they've purchased products, and hey, I just want to just check in with you. That's an easy way to do it. But no matter what, we've got to have a system for follow up on product. I think a lot of people get reactive here. And what I mean by reactive is it means they don't follow up on the product. Why do you think consultants don't follow up with the product? Anybody think of a reason why a consultant wouldn't follow up? Yeah, Ange. Oop, maybe she can't talk.
I couldn't figure out how to get myself off of mute. Sorry. I think like for me, the reason that I didn't originally do the 2+2+2 program or like follow up on product at all is I was always afraid they were going to ask me something that I didn't know how to answer. Or like, oh, I don't like this color. And I was always like, but I don't know what color would look good on you. Like that was my fear. I'm sure everybody has a different reason exactly. But that was mine. I didn't know how to answer the questions that they might
I
ask.
love that.
Or they might
Yes.
tell me.
Yes. And can everybody just like say amen? Because I think a lot of people feel that way. So if we're looking at proactive versus reactive, let's look at some of the other reactive. Like I don't know the answer. I don't know how to fix it if she doesn't like it, right? Like I don't follow up with her because if I don't hear the problem, there isn't one. But the truth is, in being proactive, you actually have an incredible opportunity when somebody doesn't like the product, has an issue with the product is broken, whatever it is. When you follow up with them, you're taking initiative with them to make sure they like their product. You're also taking initiative because, friends, you don't have to have all the answers. One of the things we talked about on Saturday at our Fresh Start Summit is that you guys this is not about perfection. This is about progress. And so if you reached out to someone and they said, Grace, I'm actually having an issue with this, or Taylor, I just really don't like the color. I thought I was going to, but I just realized it's not for me. That's when you learn because you can say, okay, awesome. We're going to figure this out. I know I can either do a refund or I know that we can swap it out for a different color. And I think we can find a different color for you. What do you think? And she's going to say, okay. And you're going to say, I'm new or I'm learning. I want to make sure I give you the right information. So I'm going to message my sales director and then I'm going to message you and let you know what she comes back with some ideas. Or I'm going to go onto the website and I'm going to use some of the resources and I'm going to figure this out. You guys, it's not that you have to have the answer for everything. So can we agree that not only do we need a system for tracking, we need to understand what we're going to do, even if it's not written down, it's just thought of. When I need to do customer service and I don't know the answer, this is what I'm going to say. This is where I'm going to leave myself a note so that I can find the information and message her back. You guys, we just need a strategy. It doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out. We just have to have a way that we're going to figure it out. Okay. And so, what are the places that you could look for information if you didn't know what the answer was? Me, Mary Kay In Touch, our unit website, and our unit YouTube channel. Between those, you're going to have pretty much everything you need. Okay. You can always box me. There are a lot of options. So, my point is only this, friends. We can't not do customer service with our customer base because we're afraid that there's an issue. That's where we actually have the chance to set ourselves apart. So we need customer service tracking and follow up. We need a strategy for in case there's an issue. Can anybody else think about customer base proactivity? There are two more things that I had written down that I think are just really basic ways to maintain your customer base. Can anybody think of another one?
I
Yeah.
send notes.
What's that?
I send notes.
Communication. You guys, there has to be communication. Now, Joy, her gifting is in sending notes. So tell them what you would send a note about.
Oh, I have little things that say you're amazing or thank you or whatever, and then I'll ask them questions or just talk to them.
She just connects with them. Sometimes it's about business, sometimes it's not. I just had a client the other day and she's super oily and she ordered some product and I said, "Hey, if I send you one of these new retinol serums, will you use it and tell me how it works on oily skin? Because so far, everybody that's using it that I know has dry skin, and I just want to see how it works." She was like, "Yes, I will." And then I made a note in my date book to call her in a month to check in. Now, that's a form of communication. That's me developing a customer's product result. Okay. Your customer base, it's not just about someone who's using a product, there's someone who's using your product and that has the opportunity to use something more. Because maybe you just sold her a foundation, but I bet she also washes her face. And if she washes her face, maybe she uses a moisturizer. So, friends, this is where we can develop our customer base, and communication is part of that. Can you think of another component to communication that's really critical when it comes to being proactive in your customer base? Taylor.
I know a lot of my customers and newer customers, but I usually like with my busy schedule, like right from the bat, like I'll let them know that I'm very busy and that they can reach out to me and I'll get to them as soon as I can.
So establishing some um what would I say? Standards. Like I have a full-time job and I have this stuff going on. I'm gonna always get back to you, usually within 2 days, and I answer calls after 5 o'clock on the next day or whatever it is. Again, communicating your boundaries. I think that that's so critical. And here's the other thing, you guys, if we want to love our business, that means we better love the life that helps create. And that's part of establishing a customer base. Otherwise, you're on all the time. I had somebody say to me the other day, "Grace, I left you a message yesterday." Okay. Well, I didn't hear back from you. Yeah. I took the day off. Like I'm allowed to do that. Like, and they were like, wow, people nowadays expect, and it's not a realistic expectation. And I do not want you guys bending yourself over into knots trying to be every place for every person. I want us to have good standards and to communicate them effectively. My goal is always to respond to you within 48 hours. If you call after 5 o'clock, I will get to you the next business day, period. That's reasonable. Okay, that's reasonable. I would also say that any person that's running a business today, there has to be some sort of a social media presence. Now, I'm not saying you have to be on social media all the time, certainly, but one of the things is that it is a smart way to communicate with multiple people all at once. I call it Get Ready with Grace. I do it while I'm putting my makeup on in the morning, and I will talk about skin. I will talk about how I wash my face. I will talk about makeup. I will talk about those things because I'm already doing it. And that's something where you can introduce in a very organic way products to your customer base, not one at a time, but in the group. Okay. I think having a private customer Facebook group is a smart thing. That, in my estimation, is a proactive option because the other nice thing is that then I'm able to say to people, and I just did this the other day. Someone was asking me questions, and I was like, I don't know. They were asking me a question. I said, "Oh, I just made a video about that." And I went back into my customer Facebook group. I tagged her in the video and she was able to watch it. I didn't have to repeat myself. It's a smart way to communicate and to teach your customer base when you already have that set into place. You do those YouTubes. Oh, yes, the videos. I do mine on Facebook Live because what I figured out about myself is that if I make them on a video and then try to upload those to YouTube, I do the video, but then I never take the time to get it transferred over to YouTube. Like I end up taking too long. And so when I do Facebook Lives on my Facebook group, that's how I can do those because I just have found that if I try to record it and then put it onto YouTube, it just does not. I never actually get to it. And so, I think again, that communication segment, that product development segment. And the only other thing I was going to say is I think preferred customer program is really smart for your customer base. It is a reason to contact your customers once a quarter. Did you receive your catalog? Did you see that on page 7 there's a sample? I just wanted to make sure you knew. Also, as always with new products, I'd love to show you some of it. Let me know if you'd like to see my availability because I'd sure love to see you. I think that preferred customer program and getting that mailing in their hands, what it does is it really trains your customer base to be expecting you 4 times a year to connect with them, to check in with them and their product, and that they realize, like, hey, I have a beauty consultant. And if you're not taking care of your customers with communication, if you're not being proactive with some kind of, product development with them, okay, if you're not offering them, this is what's new in the company and in the product, I don't know that they have a consultant. And if they don't have a consultant, that means somebody else should make them their customer. So let's develop those bases and make sure that they know how they can reach you, what your standards are, that you offer makeover and skin session experiences. And then we don't have to worry about anybody taking your customers because they wouldn't dare go somewhere else because you're so good. Okay? Because you're so good. It's fun to develop a customer base when you have those things in place and you roll them very organically. You can build a very big base because you have those things in place. If you're constantly doing it different or not doing it at all, they're going out the back door as fast as they came in the front door. Does that make sense, you guys? How many of you would love to have a base that ordered $30,000 in product a year that you could just, that's what it builds. And so let's build a great base and let's show them that we take it seriously. If someone is going to have to wait 6 weeks to get their product, does that really speak to us being serious about it? So tell me one proactive step that you're going to take with your customer base this week, like in the next 2 days. Let's hear some popcorn. Somebody pop on and tell me.
Now, I like the 2+2+2. I hear about it a lot, but never really put it into action.
I love that. And here's the thing. Does Target call people and say, hey, how did your product order work out? Does Ulta or Sephora say, hey, Patty, I know this new lip color was like a little bit outside your comfort zone. What are we thinking? That is the difference. When she calls you back and says, hey, I'm actually confused about where to put this product on, what the order is. And the fact that she can call you and talk to you about it, you guys, they can't do that at Ulta. They don't do that at Target. They don't do that at Sephora. So I want you to understand this is what makes us awesome. This is where the difference is. And this is what can actually end up being your greatest selling point, if that makes sense. One more. Anybody else? Something that you're going to do in the next 2 days with your business, something you can think of. Yeah, Ange.
I'm actually going to go through my 2 plus 2 plus 2 and make sure that I'm not missing anybody.
I love that. I love that. And I do think, and I will say with the company, with the new My Shop, I think there is going to be something on there, if there isn't already, where you can, when you have order, when an order is placed, you'll be able to put some automated things in where they automatically send you an email. Does that make sense? Like they automatically send an email. That way you're not having to create an extra system, but I don't know that it's quite in there yet because it is a new platform. Okay. So, so there's definitely that. So let's talk for just a minute about color seasons, what that looks like, what that means, all of that. Okay. So color seasons is or color theory is what they used to call it back in the day. It's what they used to teach like in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And it was that there were four different seasons of the year and that people's coloring fell into those seasons. And I'm going to teach this as best as I am able because I think it's so helpful. And the first thing that I'm going to tell you is that there is an app, and I actually like the app. It works really well, and it's especially helpful for putting what they call the color drape. Like once you figure out what a woman's skin tone, hair color, and eye color is, and what her season is, you can actually put a color wheel around her so that she'll understand what colors look best on her. But the best way to identify what someone's coloring is to get a selfie of them where you can see their eye color and their hair color and they have on no makeup and put it into Chat GTP. It is not only the best way to say, like, if you put in there, what is her color season? Not only will it say, she's a soft autumn, here's why. Boom, boom, boom. And because it's Chat GTP, you can say, why isn't she a deep autumn? I thought she would be a deep autumn. And it will tell you why. You guys, it is the best tool for teaching you this. And you can do it. ChatGPT is free. Okay. Like you can get the upgraded version of it if you're like me and use it all the time. But like it's pretty slick. So I'm going to say if this part, this color theory makes you nervous, start with ChatGTP helping you. Like I still use it with every single person that I do a color assessment with. Okay. Um, yes, Emily, you're so right. The other app that we found, it said most of them were it gave them the wrong thing. And I totally agree. I totally agree. And it was saying that a lot of people were winter, and I am a winter, and they did not look anything like me. Okay. So let's talk about the first season that we're going to talk about, and that is the color season summer. Okay. We're going to talk about a summer color season. Okay. And so, what does a summer color season look like? I want to teach you about three color theory terminologies or I'm going to call it languaging, whatever. It's the first one is called season. Okay, let's talk about what a season means. Color season reflects the tones, the temperatures, and the harmony that naturally complement your skin, hair, and eyes. And so, all of that to be said, that your season, when we put you in colors that look great, that are in your season, you look younger, healthier, fresher. Your everything pops. People see your eye color more, they see your hair color more, they see your skin tone more when you're wearing your season. When you wear something that is not your season, it has a proclivity to make us look washed out, yellow, pink, orange, brassy, and we do not look like our livers are functioning well. Okay. So, number one, your season is a way of saying these are the colors that look the very best on you based on your skin tone, hair color, and eye color. Okay, let's talk about what chroma and value mean. Okay, chroma means clarity or softness. Clarity or softness. So, how bright and clear is a color, like very bright and vibrant, or how muted it is. Okay. So, chroma means that it is, you either look, it's going to tell you how good you look in things that are clear and sharp versus things that are soft and muted. Value is light versus dark. Okay. I really look good in black because I am really white. Okay. If you put white on me, I don't look as good because it just blends into me. Okay. So some people look really great in light and white, and some people look really great in dark black. And what that does is it tells you whether you're a soft or a warm, a deep, or a bright. Okay. And last but not least is, hang on, I just got to move one thing so I can read my note there. It's being a pain. Okay, well, I'll tell you the other one when I can see it because it's not making. Anyway, so we've got our season. Oh, temperature. Temperature is the other one. And that means, are you warm or are you cool? So warm means that you look better or tend to have more peachiness or yellow to your skin tone, maybe the golds, okay? Whereas cool is for people who are more fair, more pink undertoned. When we talk about summer seasons, these are cool. They're usually lighter in value, and they are typically softer. Okay, their chroma is soft. So I'm going to show you this page, and I will tell you that I will share all of these templates that I have made. You'll be welcome to them, okay? And so this is what it looks like, okay? We're going to start by talking about a cool summer. These colors are very muted. They're not bright. They're very soft, okay? And they are much more on the soft pinks, blues, purple, gray. When you think of summer seasons, I want you to think of moonlight. Everything is soft, it's gentle, it's smoky, it's hazy. There is not a lot of sparkle or glitter. These individuals work best with soft, blended, smudged lines. You do not put harsh black eyeliner on a summer. Specific to a cool summer, they wear muted color neutrals like a dusky sky, lots of soft blue, gray, green, very washed colors, not bright. They're going to go with these soft sages, not khaki, not Kelly green. They're going to need stuff that is soft and cool, like a dusky sky. That is a cool summer. Now, the other kind of summer that we have, okay, so if you put someone's face into ChatGTP and they come back that they are a soft summer, you're going to notice that it looks very similar, okay? It looks very similar, but you'll notice that the colors are a little deeper. They're not quite as washed. They've got a little bit more depth to them, as in it doesn't look like it's been washed with water like watercolor paints. These have a little bit more depth. They've got a little bit more pigment to them. And specific to a soft summer, they wear muted color neutrals better than everybody else. So not so much taupes, but gray, heather, sage, mauve, and not the washy colors, but some of the deep ones. Well, a lot of you won't remember this, but some of you will. Do you remember in like the 80s when like country blue and mauve were like all the thing? You guys, that was like the thing. every cool summer or every soft summer in the world was like, yeah, because like they looked great in everything because that's what all the colors were like was the dusty blue and the mauve colors, okay? And then the third type of summer that you can have is what they call a light summer, okay? And a light summer is, I think, it is similar to a cool summer, but it's just got a little more warmth. So you'll notice that on this spectrum, it's still muted. Like they're not bright yellow, bright blue. They're still very soft and they're very muted. But you'll notice that light summers can pull some of these khaki colors better. Like they've got a little bit more warmth. These aren't quite as pink. There's a little bit more in the greens. There's a little bit more yellow undertone in here and they're not washy. Only the cool summer can wear the washy. This is still a pretty deep. It's not blended. But it's very it does have a little bit more warmth to it, okay? So these are the colors and again, specific to a light summer, it's soft and light and delicate. These are the people that I always say, I want you to think of a J. Crew model. Okay, these people that look great in khaki with a white linen. Okay, those are your light summer people. So if it tells you that they're a light summer, that's where you be. Now, one thing that I am going to tell you, and I created this because this is my brain thinks in pictures. Okay. I'm going to tell you who celebrities in each of these categories are because that way it helps me think of who, like an example, so that if I want to look up makeup that looks really good on those people, like let's say, like Shelly was talking about doing bridal makeup. She could literally get a picture of that bride, plug it into ChatGTP, find out her colors, like what her season is, and then she can pull up on Pinterest makeup for whoever she is. And you can start getting ideas for how to do makeup based on that. Okay. So let's talk about my summer seasons. My soft summer. Okay. My soft summers. Jennifer Aniston, Sarah Jessica Parker, Gwyneth Paltrow. And this one's funny. Taylor Swift, but only in the early years. Okay, a cool summer. Okay, cool summer, not cruel summer like Bananarama. Okay, cool summer. Kate Middleton, Meryl Streep, Amanda Seyfried, and Emily Deschanel. And last but not least, a light summer. So someone that can pull more of those khakis, pull more of that like sage green. It's got a little bit more warmth to it. Reese Witherspoon, Scarlett Johansson, but only with her natural hair color. Naomi Watts and Michelle Pfeiffer. What's that song? Uptown Funk, like where he's like Michelle Pfeiffer, that white girl. Like that's what it is. It's about her coloring. Okay. So two things I want to finish on with our color seasons. How do we take this? Like, okay, Grace, she's a light summer. Let's say that Reese Witherspoon calls me up and says, Grace, I need you to do my makeup. Okay, great, Reese. Sure, no problem. How do I take the fact that she's a light summer and implement that into her makeup? Couple thoughts. Number one, I'm going to go here to her color wheel and I'm going to ask myself, where do I think these colors are going to look best? Because maybe Reese would look great with this blue shade on, but do I necessarily want to put that on her eyeshadow? Do I want to put this level of blue eyeshadow from eyelash to eyebrow? Probably not. When it comes to bringing their makeup in, you're going to use mostly any type of color, like the boldest parts of their color wheel. So, like in this one, let's think like the blues, maybe some of these purples. She's probably going to wear those on her clothes. The most neutral parts of the color wheel, that's where her makeup is going to live. She's going to use these soft pinks on her cheeks. She's going to put the softest versions of some of these nudes on her eyes. I'm going to implement more of this color range in her actual tops, and this is where her makeup is going to live. Does that make sense? So you're going to use any of the bolder pieces. Those are probably going to be on her body somewhere. But when it comes to makeup, that's where the neutrals line. Now, the flip side of that coin, let's say Reese calls me and she's like, Grace, you did so great last time. I need you to do my makeup again. Okay. I'm going to say fantastic. And she says to me, but Grace, I'm wearing a lot of neutrals in today's photo shoot. I'm going to be modeling for Abercrombie and I'm going to be wearing, khaki linen shorts and white, button down shirt and sandals and be in the warm light. What am I going to do if she's not wearing dark color on her body or her boldest color on her body? She's got on a lot of that neutral. A lot of times it's a great opportunity to then use the bolder color on her makeup. So maybe if she's wearing khaki, whatever, I'm going to use this eyeliner that's blue. Since everything else on her body is so neutral, I'm going to use something that's still in her color wheel, but I'm going to put this on her face to really bring her color wheel up on her face. Maybe I'm going to use one of these really pretty purples in an eyeshadow, but I'm going to use one of these colors. I'm not going to put the whole spectrum on her face. I don't know, you guys, was this helpful at all? Was this helpful at all? What this does is the more you learn about this stuff and play with it, not become perfect, but use it as a tool. What it does is it increases your knowledge and it gives you greater confidence in yourself and in the product. We talked on Saturday that we are going to be more confident and we are going to implement faster, not waiting until we're perfect. We're going to implement today. And so with all of that being said, I would like two things that someone took away. Let's do two things. I have two people pop up and tell me something that you learned from the color wheels tonight and what it is going or how it's going to help you to know your color season. You can also ask questions if you have questions about it. And
So first thing I'm very intrigued by the Chat GPT piece of it. And what Emily said is kind of like making me kind of be thrown off a little bit because like I feel like I had good results on the Colorize, but I didn't use the app. I was using the website. And I don't know if but at the same time, it's not convenient to take with me everywhere. So I will admit that like the color thing really makes me nervous. So when people say, yeah, I'll do a skin analysis, I'm like, oh, perfect. I know how to do that. So I think for me, like the Chat GPT might be a game changer for me. I'm also probably gonna rewatch this like 12 times just because like I know I was taking notes and then you said you were gonna share something, so I kind of stopped taking notes and then I'm like, wait, I don't think she's sharing all this with us. So I
So
probably should have been continuing to take. Yeah.
I will
But
say, so like I'm gonna show you guys an example, and I'm gonna see one of my best friends, Jody. She's so funny. Um, I don't know. Do I have Jody's before picture though? Yes. Okay. So, like, first of all, the app or the desktop of this that we were talking about is called colorwise.me. COLORWISE.me. I can't stand the app. It doesn't work well and it looks nothing at all like the desktop version, and the desktop version works better. But here's what I'm going to show you, okay? So let me do a quick screen share. Okay. Okay, this is what colorwise.me looks like, okay? I am here. It says take a selfie. Okay, so I'm going to use a selfie and I'm going to use, let's see, oh, here's Beth. We'll use Beth. She's so awesome. Okay. Let's find someone from Beth's. Okay, where did you go, Beth? Okay, so here's Beth. I'm going to bring Beth in. Okay. And I'm going to take Beth's picture. Okay. And I'm going to open up onto her face. And then you click get started. And it makes you go onto her hair color and click. Then her, oh wait, I did her. That's why. Okay. I need to go back up here. Do her skin tone first. Okay. Right there. And then her hair. Ah, this thing is, see, it doesn't work very well. Okay, skin. Okay. And then hair color. Da, da, and then her eye color. Okay. And she's got real big blue eyes. Okay. Now I'm going to click next. It tells me that Beth is a soft autumn. I really don't agree with that. Okay. I think that might be her sub season, but what's really cool is I can put this color wheel around her, right? So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, okay, I'm going to go into Chat GTP and I'm going to create a new chat and I'm going to say, what color season is this woman? Question mark. And now I'm going to put Bethy back in there, okay? And I'm going to click go. Based on this photo, she appears to be a soft summer. This is how I'm reading her color. Low to medium contrast. She doesn't have a lot of color discrepancy between her skin tone and hair color and eye color. Everything reads blended and gentle, not sharp and high contrast. Her skin, she has a cool neutral undertone, soft pinks rather than gold or peachy warm. Her eyes are a softer blue muted shade, not icy or highly saturated. Okay, now what I love is then I can come in here and I'm like, okay, soft summer. I'm going to come in here to Beth on color-wise. I'm going to click on this palette and I'm going to put soft summer. Okay. Now look at Beth. I'm going to download this picture of Beth and I know Beth, these are the colors she wears and she looks stunning in them. So the app would have given me the wrong information, but I really like this color wheel, so I wanted to keep it. And I text everybody their picture with their color wheel because it makes it easy for them to take shopping with them. I also message them the little page that I am giving to each of you on what it means to be a soft summer, a soft winter. That way they have access to it and they can remember, and it makes you look real damn professional. And people are like, well, why don't you just bring the printout? Because those colors never print true. So this way they have access to it while they're shopping. It's right on their phone and they can see it very clearly. Last but not least, On the last session that we do with the color seasons, I will tell you that we'll be doing, I do have a template that I use for my color assessment sessions. If you would like it before then, let me know and I'm happy to send it to you. It's what I say during the appointment. And I just want to remind everybody, and I haven't asked them, but and I don't normally do it this way, but I'll just be honest, it's been kind of a day. So um Angie, Brandy, Angelique, Emily Olson. Would you guys be able to run the meeting next week while I am, or I'm sorry, the 20th while I'm at leadership conference? Okay, perfect. You guys come up with the topic. Everybody will be here to support you. It'll be great. If you can run that, that would be awesome. Okay. I just want to remind everybody, so next week we'll do another quarter of our proactivity grid. We'll do another color season. I am in Nashville for leadership conference at the end of next week and early the next week after that. And I just want to remind everybody that we do have coming up in February, Super Saturday on the 14th. It'll only be for the morning. I'm not going to take you away from all your fancy plans, okay? But I will say, I think I am going to teach a makeup session that day about how to do smoky eyes and a red lip. So if you've ever wondered about how to do color based on undertones, that's going to be part of it. Okay. Any other questions that anybody has about color wheels? Yeah,
Not a question. Just in my experience with ChatGPT, just make sure you have, if you don't want to pay for Pro, just make sure you have a few days to do the color analysis because you can only upload so many photos and do so many
Yes.
chats in a day.
That's right.
Just an
I couldn't
FYI.
figure, is it by like is it by the number of like or is it by time, like how long you're on there?
It's the number of chats, I think. So I had a party, I think I had a party of 6,
Uh-huh.
and I asked way too late for pictures.
Mm,
And so I ended up having to get Pro so I could finish it by the time the party started. Um, but I think I had done, what was it? I think 3 or 4, and then I had to wait like another 18 or 24 hours before I could do another one.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will tell you, like if you did fall retreat, I use ChatGTP to help create a lot of my content. So I've invested in and I can never remember how much the things are like for the subscription, but just know I have found it to be of use, but like again, totally up to you. I also have and will post, I have a little graphic that I send to people. I literally just did this for a party I have coming up. It's just this little graphic and it says, um, so excited to see everyone at, the color session at least 3 days before the session. Please send me a selfie so that I can determine your season. A couple things to know. No one else sees your pictures. Um, please don't have makeup on your face. I need to be able to clearly see your eye color and hair color. You can Facebook message it to me or you can send it to me on my text at this. And so I will put the little template so that you can change it to your information. Um, and I just post that. And then that way I know I've got enough time to get it ready.